Hi, my name is Sammy, and avast, Captain, there's something witchy afoot.
My name is Caleb, and I just might save your life this week.
My name is Cordell, and of course it'll work. I read about it on the internet.
And this is Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Welcome back to www.junkhouse.com, your best website and podcast to listen to today, Friday.
Yeah, and we're gonna sing and dance. Ready for some dancing auditorially?
Yeah, Cordell, you coach me and Sammy through dancing.
Flip, backflip. Whoa, wow,
Holy
wow,
shit!
wow,
Holy shit!
wow,
She
wow,
did a
wow,
flip!
yeah,
Oh
wow,
my
wow,
god! Look at Sammy go!
Jazz
Holy
hands.
fuck!
Jazz hands.
Did you see the part where she dipped
Did it,
herself?
Yeah!
Like a
Holy
reverse smooth
fuck.
criminal lean with no one there?
I've been practicing that one for years. I'm never going to tell you that trade secret.
Are you missing the part where she did a front flip into a back flip into a double handspring?
I was over here trying to learn how to do a jazz square, and Sammy just did one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen ever, and it's a shame this is an auditory medium.
And the jazz hands at the end. Did you see the jazz hands?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that was a masterclass.
You know
Bob
what?
Fosse, who?
I pooped myself a little. It was
I
so
pooped
good.
myself a lot.
That's the aim of that dance. If at least one person in the crowd poops their pants, you know,
I don't
that's a
have to change.
successful routine.
I don't have
That's
to
good.
change pants. I have to change chairs.
I have to change ways of life. That changed me in a
Oh my
fundamental manner.
You- Well, that's actually a perfect segue
Oh,
because my topic changed me in a fundamental manner in a way of a show I haven't seen before. I also said this to Caleb earlier, and I think this is a perfect title for this type of segment. I came in when Caleb was in the call earlier, and I said, my topic is a gush fest because it's just something I really like and want to talk about.
yeah, that's great.
So Sunday,
Also, Gush Fest is a great orgy name.
it's a great orgy name. It's like Herogasm.
Yeah, welcome to Gush Fest.
Welcome to Gush Fest.
Gush
Um,
fest.
Squirters
If
and
you aren't
spurters
gushing-
only.
If you aren't gushing, you aren't living. Get the fuck out of here.
Gush or blush, baby.
But on Sunday, I didn't work on Sunday. So I've been using my friend's HBO Max. And there's this little show on there called Our Flag Means Death. Have you seen it?
I've heard the
You've heard of it?
title.
Oh,
And I've
no.
heard it might verily be verily gay.
Yes. So this is the issue. Now neither of you have seen it. So I
Yeah.
can't say anything.
Well,
But-
I'm probably not going to watch it, so I don't personally care.
Okay.
I've seen enough, and enough has been spoiled for me because I just scroll through Twitter, and being at LGBTQ means during that time, Our Flag Means
True.
Death was spoiled for me.
Okay, fair.
So,
So, Our Flag Means Death is a little show about the loosely based on the true story of the Gentleman Pirate. If you don't know who that is, it's this guy named Steed Bonnet, and he was just this rich dude that
Wait, his name was Steed?
Steed, like
Huh.
Steve, but with a D instead of a V.
Incredible.
D for dog. And he's played by Rhys Darby. That was more Australian. Pretend like I was New Zealand there. But and it's great. It's really funny. It's like, but it's just this real dude left his wife and his kids and just went to sea to become a pirate. It starts off with like the crew just completely hating him but it's a funny little comedy about this
Yeah.
imbecile. But then also like Blackbeard comes into the picture.
He's a
and
big pirate.
He's the biggest pirate, some say, and he's actually played by Taika Waititi.
Mm.
And it's so good. But yeah, it's just really cute. There's a non-binary actor in it, Vico Ortiz. I'm sorry, I feel like I butchered that. But yeah, and they play a non-binary character. It's just great. But yeah, there's just some random trivia I found on IMDb that I can talk about since you guys don't know really like.
Yeah. I'm
about
torn because like in real life, when my friend is like, "Hey, I'm watching this thing I'm really excited about," I sit and I just listen and I'm like, "That's really awesome." That doesn't make for the best podcast episode. So part of me is like, is it appropriate to goof and go on tangent goofs?
Yeah, go on.
Or do I
goofs.
just like accept that you really love this thing and I want to hear you talk about the thing?
Well, yeah, the idea was, I guess I had thought I should have asked if you guys had seen it. So this is not me talking the entire time. So like tangents and goofs are perfect.
If you were a pirate, what body part would you be missing? Because it seems like all the fictional pirates are missing one, you know? Like they're missing a foot, they're missing a hand, they're missing an eyeball. What you missing?
I'm missing my heart.
This is something I've thought of for a long time.
No, I'm Davy Jones. No, I'm kidding.
Do you get the whole octopus beard?
It's more of a squid beard. It's slightly different. It's got the the two. And it's more squid. It's more squid hair.
Let's be real. Davy Jones would give unreal head.
Oh my god!
Imagine those tentacles fondling your.
Yep.
Balls, fondling the ball.
Fondling just about anything. I'd learn a lot about myself that day.
I would probably be missing a leg. Let's be honest.
Okay.
You know?
What are you replacing it with?
I'd replace it with like a giant like wooden leg, like a wooden peg leg, but in the thigh part, I've cut out part of the leg and replaced it with like a little steel cage where I have a little bird.
Oh, leg bird.
So I have a little
leg
so
bird.
That way, so I can let the bird out. Like it's not stuck in there.
Yeah.
But it knows its home.
It's a bird of prey, and you can just like
it's a falcon.
You can like launch it at people.
It's what that's what happens. It's like oh no, Captain, they're boarding our ship. Falcon leg. And then like,
Falcon leg.
Exactly, Falcon kick.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. It would literally be a falcon kick. It would just be like I kick them with the peg leg, and then they're like, "Oh, that really hurt," and then a falcon gets him in the eye, and I'm like, "Yeah, you fucker."
Why don't we just have falcon cages on all parts of the body? So like, I'm missing my hand. Falcon cage, falcon punch.
This is what I've been saying. Okay. Sorry, another side tangent off the tangent. My dad like had a falcon when I was a kid. So like, I grew up with a falcon. Yeah. So like I've grown up with a falcon. Yeah. It's
what was its name?
Its name was She. Because everyone would just talk about the bird and be like, "Oh, she's so pretty," and Dad was just like, "Well, I guess her name is She."
Got it.
First of all, don't like that bird. That bird was horrible.
Oh.
But also, do you know how much social cachet when it's like, "Oh, what kind of pets do you have at home?" And everyone in the class is like, "I have a dog, I have a cat," and I'm like, "My family has a falcon." And then you know how much that gets you in life?
A lot, I bet. Like
a lot. It gets you
of
a
social
lot.
currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're talking about replacing your leg, it made me think of the 2007 film Planet Terror, part of the Grindhouse movies. You ever seen that?
What?
No.
The fuck?
Okay, so first of all, let me tell you about Grindhouse. It was a like weird double feature that Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez made like together.
Okay.
And it literally combines their two movies into one like really long movie.
Okay.
And it's just like, yeah, watch them both. But Planet Terror is like this weird zombie thing, but the main character in it is a stripper who, when the zombie stuff starts happening, she loses her leg at like the thigh and replaces it with a like machine gun that she can just kick her leg up and shoot, because it's that kind of excessive movie.
I have heard of that and seen the imagery. I have not actually watched the movie though.
I mean, if you're looking for a weird night, there are worse ways to spend it, but I wouldn't be like, go watch these films. But it made me think of that. Like, what era of pirates are we? Because Falcon Kick could easily just be a whole gun.
Cyber pirates.
Whoa. But the ocean is still there, and like, are we stealing like modems and stuff off of cargo ships?
Ooh.
I like this. I like this idea of cyber pirates.
Yeah. I actually
pirates.
had an idea too. That's not cyber pirates, but it's like, what if there was a pirate ship full of lepers? Because like, they're already going to die anyway. Might as well make their fame and fortune and give it to the people they're leaving behind.
Fall in love?
They fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when you're dying, you learn a lot about living.
Yeah. Here's my thing. If you're gonna die, fall in love.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Because as we always like to say, life is pointless without having a romantic partner.
Aww. I'm the only one.
I don't think that. That is not a thought I have. That is not a thought I truly believe. My personal life for Cordell has been very much enriched by having a romantic life partner, but I don't think every person needs that.
Yeah. No, but Our Flag Means Death slaps. Like, just watch it, Cordell.
Is it a musical?
It
feels like it'd be a musical.
No,
there is music, but it's not a musical.
Yeah, one of the classic pirate ship. One of them is a musician and plays the lute and shit.
I still like occasionally will walk around our house just going, "Oh, a pirate's life seems quite nice. Nothing as nice as a pirate's life." And that's all I remember of the song. And Olivia was like, "Can you please, if you're gonna sing it, can you sing the whole? Can you sing the whole song?"
My thing is, if I watch this show, I'm gonna have to wait till I'm less angry with Taika Waititi, and then I'll watch it.
Why are you angry at him?
Because Thor: Love and Thunder was one of the most childish, masturbatory things I've ever seen, and he just didn't care. He did not care, and he actively, like, disrespected all the effort that has been put into making these characters the characters they are.
Well, I haven't seen it, so... Oh.
Caleb, I see that look on your face, but I'm not stepping down from this. That movie is one of the only movies in the MCU I felt like legitimately did not give a crap.
I will keep my thoughts to myself.
Why?
I will just say that I watched that movie and thought that it was very fun and very good, and I didn't care that it wasn't, perfect, but it did a lot for Thor. Thor's character progression in the movie was genuinely good. Jane Foster had a sad but satisfying ending. And I thought Christian Bale did a very good job as Gore.
Christian Bale was an incredible role trapped in a bad film. Gore was the highlight, but here's the deal. The movie didn't care about itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to get stuck on this forever, but like, there were every decent moment of development or growth was immediately cut in half by a stupid joke that just didn't land.
Oh, they landed for me.
They did not. Every single time. Here's what I think is the biggest indicator of his mindset making this movie. Because to me it was, oh, Taika, you did so good with Thor Ragnarok and you are so funny. We will give you full creative license. And then he just threw it all away. Because here's the most frustrating part of the movie that kind of like encapsulates my problems with the whole movie. There is a small little visual gag they have in New Asgard at the very beginning of the movie where there's an ice cream shop called Infinity Cones. And it is based on Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a little ice cream store.
That's funny.
Caleb, the snap got rid of half of all life for half a decade and was massively traumatic and caused near social collapse. And they're making a fun little joke ice cream shop about it. That just wouldn't happen. That would be like, oh, welcome to Holocaust waffles. Like, it's just, that's not how things work. That is a complete disregard and disrespect for something that every other aspect of the MCU legitimately puts weight on and takes seriously.
Yeah, but also, Cordell, I hate to tell you that would happen. Because look at what is successful in a place where you went on your honeymoon and I'm about to go on my honeymoon. You have a full dinner and show based on the Confederacy and the Civil War. Capitalism knows no bounds in what it will capitalize on.
The Confederacy and Civil War is in no one's living memory.
Show.
It's in no one's living memory.
Okay, then what about Marvel making a comic capitalizing on 9/11 with Spider-Man Black?
But did it actually handle it respectfully, or did it, like, make it a stupid little joke?
It handled it respectfully, but that's still capitalism preying on something.
But there's a difference between, hey, let's make a quick buck talking about something in a serious manner, and, hey, let's throw in a little joke about the most traumatic event that's happened to the entire universe.
I think sometimes a lot of people use comedy to get through traumatic events as well. Like making fun of the traumatic event. And it's not, I think it being more about the Stones, like a pun on the Stones, is a little bit easier because it's not like, hey, the Snap ice cream. You know, like it's more broad than that, I guess, you know. Just to play a little bit of devil's advocate.
No, I understand.
People make fun of 9/11 all the fucking time, and that was a very traumatic event.
But no one's opening 9/11 soup, or I couldn't think of a good food for 9/11. But like
fire sandwiches.
Soup. Yeah, no, like no one's opening a whole business for it. You know what I'm saying? That to me is just my problem with the movie as a whole. Is it's like, there's been a lot of actual growth and development done for these characters, and a lot of it was turned into just stupid little jokes. And I just felt like he had no actual regard for the journey they've been on or where they should be going. It was all just a lot of stupid jokes for me.
So
fair.
Not to
Are you gonna tell me there's a 9/11 bistro or something?
I'm gonna tell you that a restaurant in Virginia got in trouble for it and deleted it, but for a month ran a special with first responder flatbread, never forget sampler, 2 cups of 297 or 2977 chowder, which was the flight number, flight 93 redirects crab dip, the Pentagon panini, 2 remember teeny cocktails.
Oh my god.
Freedom flounder.
Oh no, there's more.
9/11 oysters. That one is just
that's wild.
Lazy.
Like that's just like, that's a lazy one. Everything else was a lot more thought out.
Yeah.
So
but what did you say happened to them because of that? What did they do? They got in trouble.
They deleted it after 3
But
weeks.
where was this ice cream shop? Was it on Earth?
Well, this was in it was on Earth. It was like in like Arizona or some shit.
Wait.
No, it was like
movie?
New Asgard.
That's
it was literally in New Asgard. Anyway, this isn't a critical analysis podcast. Caleb and I can hash this out in a couple months when we get to that on Just Super, but I am pissed at the amount of disrespect for the characters and for their journeys. And that is why I'm currently mad at Taika Waititi, because he's a very talented writer, very talented director and actor. He's fantastic, but I feel like he's a little too high on his own supply right now. And I'm going to leave it at that. Caleb, learn to save our lives or whatever.
All right. Unsurprisingly, this is a quiz.
Quiz show
But-
with Caleb Burley.
This one is a little bit different. You guys are going to be working together.
Friendship.
I have 6 questions. If you get the right answer, I'll give you 10 points. However, for every wrong answer you give, I will dock you 5 points.
Oh my God.
And
The stakes are
that
too
is all-
high.
that is all I will say. You guys can talk about it as much as you want. Like, there is no time rush or anything because it's only 6 questions. This week, for this style of quiz that you guys are going to be working together on, I want to have you guys think about holiday travel. You know, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. So this one, I am nicknaming the quiz Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, as well as a ship. Because that is what
Ooh.
we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
First, do you guys just want to dive right into this quiz?
Always.
Yes.
You guys have driven your way down to Florida. There are a lot of beautiful ports in which you can take a cruise out of. Cruises are
Beautiful.
not notorious for being the safest thing, so I want to know what you guys think is the most dangerous place on a cruise ship.
Okay, Sammy, let's use our collective cognitive faculties here. Is it like, do you think it could be like an engine room kind of deal where they're actually like, there's a lot of stuff going on? Or do you think it's like
Possibly.
the railing?
Well, real quick, we only get docked the points if we submit an answer that is incorrect.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, and
Just
you
wanted to
guys
make
can
sure.
keep submitting until you get it right or you give up.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you
I just
run
wanted
the
to make
risk
that
of
clear.
multiple
Can
wrong
I
answers.
ask a clarifying question?
Absolutely.
When you say like most dangerous place on a cruise ship, do you mean the entirety of the ship or the places where people are normally gonna be?
I will say just the places where people will be
Okay.
normally. And so
So
I
not
won't
like
dock
an
you
engine
guys
room.
for stating the engine room. No, I will not dock the engine
So
room.
like a passenger location.
A passenger location. This is a place where passengers are going to be found all the time.
Okay.
Or not all the time, but this is a place where passengers are going to be found.
Could it be like, is it some random bullshit of like the pool because
Yeah,
they
that's
drown?
what I was wondering too. Is it's either going to be like something like the pool where they drown a lot, or the dining hall where people like choke on food because they're gorging
Yeah.
themselves because it's a cruise.
That I feel like it has to be one of those. I don't think cruise ships are not famous for sinking constantly.
No, and they're also like you don't hear constant news articles of another person fell over the side. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be some normal activity that just has a fairly decent rate of injury.
Yeah. Do we want to submit one of those?
So here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Pools have lifeguards. It's a cruise. They care about not getting sued. So lifeguards are probably going to keep it safer. I say we do like the dining hall.
I agree with that because dining hall
Okay.
you can also get like sick from food. as
Yeah,
well as
you're
choking
right.
on it.
Okay. Caleb, we submit the dining hall.
I'm sorry to tell you that you guys are starting off on a bad foot with -5 points right out the get-go.
No. Okay.
Because the dining hall, actually, cruises have very strict standards to keep their food absolutely in best condition.
That's
So,
But do
Your
they have
chances of getting-
strict standards for not letting people shove too much food down their gullet and choking?
there isn't, but also the risk of people like choking. They actually, a lot of cruises will intentionally give smaller portions,
Huh.
and you may think, oh, that's because they want to save money. that's actually because they want to reduce the risk of choking.
Okay.
They
They
cannot
got there
eliminate
first.
it, but they will reduce the risks. That's negative 5 points.
Interesting.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
'cause, I mean, there's-
try to guess again?
There's
but-
no such thing as safe. There's just mitigated risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to
the
try
pool?
pool then?
Say it. Go ahead. Yeah.
I guess we'll submit pool, like water area on the cruise.
Ooh.
No.
Down to negative 10. Yeah,
Okay.
there's usually per pool on a cruise ship, there is about 5 total lifeguards, and some of them are actually just dressed as normal people, so you don't
Ooh.
suspect they're lifeguards.
Plainclothes lifeguards.
Exactly.
I think
So-
I just connected with something, maybe.
Okay, hit me with it.
What is a place that you are most likely to be alone on a cruise ship?
The bathroom.
The bathroom. Maybe some crazy shit happens. This is a goofy answer, and everyone dies in the bathroom because they're all alone and can't be saved.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're on the ocean. What if a wave rocks the boat while you're like in the shower? You slip,
Yeah.
you get hurt, or
You
yeah.
die in the bathroom.
But here's my other thing. We are allowed to just give up on the question. We are at negative 10. At best, we go up to 0 if this is the correct answer. At worst, we get negative 5 points, and this is a quiz show on a podcast, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
I say let's just fucking go for it then.
Let's go. Is it the bathroom?
I'm sorry that you guys are going down to negative 15. The
Okay.
bathrooms are designed with anti-slip materials and handrails all over.
Okay, then we
So
give
it
up
is-
on this question.
All right.
Wait. Well, let me get one more. Let me get one
Okay,
more.
One more.
The railing.
Down to negative 20. I'm sorry, guys. So here's the correct answer. The correct answer is actually the lifeboat, because most of them are not clean. So there's enough bacteria alone in there that you will get sick if you are trapped in a lifeboat for any amount of time. Most of them are actually not strapped down correctly. So there's a chance you just stand underneath and they fall and you die by getting crushed to death on on the boat from the lifeboat.
That makes me think of that one joke in Community where they have the actuarial safety inspector guy coming through, and he grabs the vending machine and starts shaking it, and he's like, "These suckers cause 3 deaths a year. 2 of them are inspectors."
That's essentially what it boils
very
down
accurate.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We're going to have a few questions in a row about planes. So,
Planes.
you guys both have more experience on planes than I
Planes.
do. I only have experience on small planes, both of you
I
have
have a
flown on
lot
bigger
of
ones.
experience.
So,
I've been on a plane or 2.
I want you guys to close your eyes again and imagine that you guys are flying on a plane over the Atlantic. You guys are going to London. It's going to be a wonderful time. You've flown out of Atlanta. You're so excited. You're trying to sleep when out of nowhere you hear over the loudspeaker that the pilot is incapacitated. He is knocked out. He is sick. He cannot fly the plane anymore. What should you do as a passenger?
I mean, we just stay in our seats and do nothing, right?
Nothing, because
there's a
unless
co-pilot.
unless the co-pilot and the autopilot is all fucked up, then
And I'm certain they give stewards and stewardesses a little bit of training on if both of them happen to die,
yeah. At least in my experience of my life of being on planes, I have never. They've never prepped anybody for, hey, you as a passenger need to do stuff.
You probably just buckle your seatbelt and stay there.
Yeah. Stay seated and be chill. That's
Yes,
the end. That's
yeah.
what we're submitting.
You guys go back up to negative 10 for
Yay!
negative
Yeah!
right answer. Many people believe that they will try and go fly the plane. However, that always leads in a crash. There's also an idea that you can break into the cockpit and wake the pilot up. The cockpit is locked and it is
Yeah.
impossible to break into on purpose.
Yeah.
There's also the idea that you can try and find another pilot that is on the plane. Even if you do find a pilot, they are probably not able to fly a commercial aircraft
Yeah.
like that. And even they did a test where they brought in 100 small plane pilots and had them do a simulator of the plane is this commercial plane is crashing, try and land it, or try and fly it and land it. All of them failed.
That's good.
100% failed.
That's
50
good.
of them accidentally turned off the autopilot and instantly crashed.
Yeah, cool. But
I-
yeah,
So
just for
best
safety
thing-
reasons, there's always a captain and a co-pilot.
Yeah.
yeah, and even going into that more, captain, the pilot, co-pilot, and on long stretches over the Atlantic, there's also a third
Yeah.
like potential. All of them are required to eat separate meals, just in case one of them happens to, make them sick. There is always, the other two did not get the same meal. There are so many fail safes
Yeah.
that you should not worry about if your pilot gets incapacitated.
Yeah,
And
you
there
good.
is this just horrifying statistical tendency where the average person, and remember that average is like among the dumbest people you've ever met. The average person thinks they can do a lot of things they absolutely could not do.
Yeah,
And
Absolutely.
like that, like 40-something% of men think that they can like beat Serena Williams at tennis, or like all these people think they could like win a fight with a lion. Like the dumbest people think they're smarter than you.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the ignorance of not knowing how little they know.
It's like the Dunning-Kruger effect or something.
Yes,
like it's
yeah,
got a
yeah,
name. It is the
Yeah.
literal opposite of imposter syndrome. You don't know enough to know you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Now, let's say we're back on that plane over the Atlantic, and let's say somehow it does crash, unfortunately.
Okay.
On your way down, what should you be doing?
You gotta put your hands in those positions, and like it's like do that, or it's like covering your head. I've heard a myth. I don't know if this is probably a myth, but I've heard that that's supposed to, the positions that you put your hands in are supposed to actually break your neck. So it's an easier, it's like a easier, quicker death than being trapped. I don't think that's true.
No, because here's my thought on it. You're going down, especially over a body of water, like one flotation device under your seat. But
Yeah.
that is like a post-crash thing. Like for the crash itself, you got to be buckled up. And I think you want to be like curling up into that ball with like your head towards your knees and your hands over your head, just to minimize the amount of you that's flailing at any given moment. And in case glass breaks when you land or anything breaks, you're not getting hit in the face with it.
Yeah, you
So
gotta cover your head for sure.
Yeah, I do think it's the like buckle up, head down to your knees, and hands cupped over your head kind of deal.
Yeah, we submit that.
You guys are absolutely right. You're back up to 0 points.
Boom.
You
Yeah.
should just kind of be bracing for impact. The other thing you can do, so there were two options to get the 10 points for this one.
Okay, dope.
Is that oxygen mask that falls down?
Yeah,
You want to get as much of that in as you
yeah.
can.
take some breathers.
Good point. Yeah.
So you want to take in as many deep breaths of that like pretty pure oxygen as you can get. Because, next question, if you land in the water, you obviously have to hold your breath and tread water for a little bit. So what gas is monitored in your body that lets you know that you have to breathe right now? If you're holding your breath, what gas is monitored in your body?
That's CO2.
CO2.
Wait.
But oxygen,
This is a trick. It's oxygen.
Yeah.
Because your body needs oxygen. When you can't breathe, your body is getting harmed by the lack of oxygen. It's a trick question.
Also,
I
a lot
think-
of times the plane will float.
Yeah.
And so you have time to get onto the slides that turn into flotation devices as well.
Yeah.
So,
But no,
you won't even be treading water.
I think this is a good old Caleb trickery question
I
because
agree.
your body is going to monitor the amount of what it needs, not the amount of the waste. So I think it's oxygen.
Final answer?
Sammy, are you in? Yep.
Yes.
That was actually a double trick. It is actually CO2. That was me trying to actually get in Cordell's head and double trick you.
Well, you worked. You did it. Like, congrats.
So here's the thing. The reason that I said you want to take in as much oxygen as you can get, most people think they can hold their breath for 1 to 2 minutes tops. If you have taken in enough pure oxygen, the world record is around 15 minutes of holding your breath if you get just oxygen.
Wow.
And you have to like kind of like actively think through and be okay. But so now in this scenario, you're still treading water, and I'm sorry.
I read a book one time. Sorry, my brain needed to declare this.
No,
And-
you're good.
And in the book, it was a sci-fi book, but they were like, people were given like new bodies and their brains were like put into these like very much like organically enhanced bodies. And they had what was called smart blood that could hold like 4 times the oxygen of a normal person.
Yeah.
And so during their training, because they were in like a military force, they had to be underwater for like 20, 30 minutes at a time holding their breath because their brain still thought like a human and didn't realize that they were fundamentally beyond what they used to be. So they would panic after a minute or two of holding their breath, even though they had like a good 20 minutes left, because your brain wants you to breathe, even if you don't need to breathe yet.
Yeah.
Like with the pure oxygen thing.
That's super cool. Oh my
It's a great
God.
book series. It's The Old Man's War by John Scalzi.
I've heard of that.
They're
Yeah,
delightful.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So for question number 5, and then we have one more question and we'll be done.
Okay.
You've got oxygen, you're treading water, you're doing just fine. You're in the middle of the ocean, but you're doing okay. So what's your next move?
Piss my pants in the ocean. Let it all out.
Yeah, you'll be warm.
Yeah, you gotta piss.
You got piss.
But
Um,
after that,
Find a thing to float on? I mean, plane wreck. You
plane
got
wreckage
floats.
or the
Flares.
slide.
The flares. We gotta
Flares.
find a flare. Wait. Well, no, we don't want to send up a flare if no one's around, though. Because that's a bad... Is it another just hang out?
Stick with everyone else.
Like, yeah,
Stick
because we're...
together.
Because... Ooh, maybe form, like, person rafts. Where, like, if there's no flotation devices around, get in a group of, like, 3 or 4 other people and, like, rest in shifts so that no one gets too
Ooh.
exhausted. Because,
Where the
again...
sharks come out at night.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like Jaws all over again. But, like,
yeah.
no one... Again, we're just normal people on a plane. We're not the people who are meant to do anything in that situation.
Yeah.
I think I would say just, like, find a way to float for a long period of time. Whether that's grouping up or finding a flotational thingamajig.
I agree. I concur.
Okay. Then that is our answer.
Submit.
Buzzer.
So I'm not gonna dock you points because that is, if there are other people around, that is the correct thing to do. But according to the National Travel Agency of London, so this is English.
We're not
people
from
talking.
there.
I'm not British!
If you are in the middle of the ocean and you are unable to find a flotation device, even like trying to grab it and it pushes it further away, you don't want to waste the oxygen in your body trying to move or scream for help. The head of the National Travel Agency in an interview in 2018 said the best thing you can do is actually just give up.
Oh.
I mean, you are in the middle of the ocean. Your odds of survival are so minimal.
But I
and
guess
so
that is
the-
assuming you are alone in the middle of the ocean.
Yes. And
Yeah.
her exact quote was, make your peace, say your prayers, and hope there's something after. Was her exact
God
answer in the
damn.
interview.
You got to be realistic, though. I mean, I get it. Like you are stranded alone in the middle of the ocean. The odds of you getting out of that are so small.
Yeah.
The most
You just
common
gotta lay
form
it
of
out.
the most common form of travel in the United States outside of just walking is driving. So I have a question about driving for you guys.
Car
As you guys will
time.
be doing it soon.
Let me
If
turn
you
on my
are
little podcast.
driving the car, if you are driving in the car, where is the safest place to hold your hands on the steering wheel?
I feel like this is going to be a trick and it's not 10 and 2, or it's a double, triple, quadruple trick and it is 10 and 2.
Well, let's think about this, Sam Mantha. Like, when you're told 10 and 2, that is a good, normal, like, hi, time to learn a decent place of where to grab. But also, you get in a wreck and that dashboard comes on, it's clumping your hands at the 10 and 2. So maybe it's like the underside of the steering wheel. Like if you're like holding lower on the wheel or within the wheel.
Oh, the middle?
The middle. Because then the
no,
wheel
no,
protects
because then
you.
Airbag. Airbag crushes hands into face.
Maybe it's
I think it is the bottom. I think it is
Yeah.
bottom because that puts you out of the way of the airbag.
What? Nothing's squishing you down there.
So what is that? So 10 and 2. So is that like 8?
8 and 4.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, but Caleb,
the bottom half of a steering wheel. It was a double, triple, quadruple.
I hate to tell you guys are going to go back to -10, but you guys are going to. Sorry, yep, you guys are going to -10. The correct answer, and then I'm actually going to ask you guys a few more questions to hopefully give you guys a chance for some bonus points to maybe bring it up.
Okay.
The correct answer is 9 and 3. 10 and 2 as a position was actually started in a public service announcement campaign back in the 40s. What was put in a steering wheel between then and now that would make it dangerous?
Airbag.
It's the airbag. I'll give you guys 5 points for getting the airbag correctly.
Yeah. So now, we had the correct reasoning.
The logic
but
was
not
there.
The correct position.
The logic was there. 9 and 3 is because as you hold your hands there, the worst that happens is the airbag pushes your elbows out and you let go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whereas 10 and 2, there is actually a specific injury that can happen from the airbag coming out at upwards of 256 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what injury can happen that is specific to airbags coming at you?
Is it breaking your elbows?
Specifically your hands. It is specifically for your hands. I will tell you that.
For your hands.
Do they just get exploded? Do you like lose your hand?
Fingers go to shit.
Both of you are right. It's actually the medical term for it. I'm giving you 5 points to bring you back.
Well,
up
we
to
were
0.
both right, so probably give us 10.
Yeah.
No. No, because you were both getting at the element of what it is. It is an injury known as degloving.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
I've heard
your
of that,
your skin rips off your hand, and then possibly you lose your fingers. It's gross. It's horrible. But that is the injury.
I never thought of my skin as a glove, but I guess that's accurate.
So that is the injury that can happen because of an airbag. That being said, yes, 9 and 3 is the correct air quote position, but really the Travel Association of America says to hold your hands where they are most comfortable and just keep aware of the road.
I mean, if you're getting in a wreck, the airbag's going to do what the airbag's going to do. There's so many factors. Like, you're not always just going to have 9 and 3. So I get it. Exactly. Like, just do what lets you drive the safest.
Absolutely. And that was our quiz for this week.
Okay. And you know what's the best time to go to the dentist?
2:30.
Got it in
Wait,
one.
Caleb, I've got a question for you.
I have an answer.
Where are you most likely to get in a car accident?
Oh, you're actually most likely to get in a car accident in a parking lot.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because there are no actual rules in a parking lot, so people are more likely to drive more crazy.
Parking lots are the anarchists' dream. There are no
that's
rules
actually
in
what
parking lots.
Did I ever?
it's actually really interesting because like police have no jurisdiction over car faults in a parking lot. Like if somebody bumps your car in a parking lot, the police cannot do anything.
Wild.
What?
Because if there are no rules, then you cannot break the rules. The best that can happen is insurance companies do something.
Exactly.
Wow.
Whoa.
My grandmother was right. Did I ever tell you what my grandmother told me?
No.
My grandma, when I was a senior in high school, I was about to graduate. She had come to visit for my graduation, and she sits me down at the table and she goes, Cordell, the lines in a parking lot are just lines. And that was it. That was her whole nugget of wisdom.
My God. She was right, though.
That's like, I don't know the word for it, but there is a word for sayings that can be applied to many different things.
Like an aphorism?
Like an aphorism, where it's just kind of like
An
like
aneurysm.
the lines in the parking lot are just lines.
That applies to so many things.
That can be applied to so many things. There has to be a word for it.
Are you looking it up, or are you just saying there has to be?
I'm looking it up.
Okay. Yeah, parking lots do make me anxious, but I think they're also the perfect indicator of whether a person's a decent person or not. And I don't mean decent to be good or bad. I think people are too complex to ever really boil someone down to a bad person. But a decent person is a lot more quantifiable, I would argue. And there are two things about a parking lot that I think determine a decency. One is, do you put your shopping cart away?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that does not cost you anything and only helps make society better, but there's no accountability. So if you fail to do that, I don't think you're a decent person, because
agree.
You can't even do a minimal thing that just helps everybody. Yeah. Like, it's an entirely selfish action.
Yeah.
But two, like, how are you going to drive? Like, what are you going to do? Like, there are no rules here. So, like, are you going to double park? Because you can. Ugh. Like, there's no one's gonna, you can't get in trouble because it's just a random parking lot. Are you going to, like, park poorly and just leave it there? Are you going to, like, how are you going to act when there are no rules stopping you from, like, giving you punishments?
Yeah.
It is the word for a phrase or word that can apply to many different definitions or cases is a polysemous phrase or a polysemous word.
Polysemous. I love that.
Polysemen.
There's a lot of semen here. On the sea.
Yes, that is both for a lot of different workers on a ship, but also a lot of different seamen in a location. Pick an orifice, any orifice.
Apparently, the most notorious polysemous word is bank.
Yeah.
Because you've got like a river bank, a money bank. You can bank a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caleb. I feel educated and safer.
Good.
Now you know. Yeah, now you know. Avoid the lifeboats on a cruise ship if you can.
Speaking of safe, I think it's time we leave that behind.
No.
Okay. I know it's technically... What'd you say?
Said, who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah. I'm going to make one of you lucky folks a millionaire.
Finally.
With all that money I've been saving up. Now, I know it's November 1st. And I know that when this comes out, it will be even deeper into the month of November.
Only slightly.
But your boy's not going to go softly into that good night. So, got one more spooky topic.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't know if there's a special word for this kind of thing. I just kind of call it an urban myth. But it's not quite an urban legend, like...
A creepypasta.
Basically a creepypasta. Like, have you ever heard of the elevator game?
No.
Okay. Then the first thing I have to do is read you the rules of the elevator game.
Oh, God. I'm so scared.
Is it like a trolley problem?
No, it's spookier.
Demons.
Basically, the elevator game is a series of rules. Let me find them. Give me a second. Okay, so the elevator game is essentially a series of instructions that if you take, you can theoretically go to another dimension.
Ooh, okay.
And so it is in this brand of internet rumor and lore of like, if you follow this specific set of rules in an odd space, typically a kind of liminal space, like elevators are inherently boundary points between floors. You follow a series of instructions in a specific space, and a specific outcome will happen, usually a scary one. So I'm going to read you through the rules for the elevator game.
Okay.
Players, 1, no more, no less. Requirements, a building at least 10 stories high and equipped with an elevator capable of reaching all 10 floors. Instructions. Venturing out. Begin at any time. Enter your chosen building and proceed directly to the elevator. Call the elevator. Use only the up button to do so. If a down button is present, do not touch it. When the doors open, enter the elevator. You must enter it on the first floor and you must enter it alone. Do not proceed if anyone else is in the elevator with you. Press the button for the 4th floor. When the elevator reaches the 4th floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor. When you reach the 2nd floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator, press the button for the 6th floor. And then when you reach the 6th, stay in, press for the 2nd. When you reach the 2nd, stay in, press for the 10th. Reach the 10th, stay in, press for the 5th. When you reach the 5th floor, a young woman may enter the elevator. Do not look at her. Do not speak to her. She is not what she seems. Do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator. Press the button for the 1st floor. At this point, one of 2 things will occur. The elevator will begin descending to the 1st floor, or it will begin ascending to the 10th. If the elevator descends, the ritual has failed. Do not proceed. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Exit the building and don't look back. You may try again another time.
Okay.
If the elevator ascends, the ritual has succeeded. You may proceed. Note, though, that if you are having any second thoughts about what you're about to do, if you find that you're losing your nerve, now is your last chance to back out. To cancel the ascension and terminate the ritual at this point, press the button for any floor in the building besides the 1st or 10th. You must cancel the ascension before the elevator passes the 9th floor in order to terminate the ritual. When you reach the 10th floor, you may choose either to exit the elevator or to remain aboard. If you choose to exit and the woman entered the elevator on the 5th floor, she may take this opportunity to ask you where you are going. Do not answer her. Do not look at her. Exit the elevator without comment. Now look around, but do not lose sight of the elevator in which you arrived. You will, it said, find yourself in another world. And although you may see many things and notice many details, you will know you have arrived in this world. You will know for certain by one indication and one indication only. The only person present in it is you. And then for the return trip, the method by which you return depends on your own world. Return to your own world depends on your choices thus far. So like if you did not exit the elevator at the 10th floor, you just press the button for the 1st and it should close and go back down. If it doesn't go back down though, keep pressing the button for the 1st floor until it does. And then same thing. When you get to the 1st, leave, don't look back, don't talk, just go. And return home as soon as possible. But if you chose to leave at the 10th floor, you have to return to the elevator, use the same elevator to return as the one you arrived, and when you enter the elevator, press the button for the 4th, and then you like reverse the steps to get back to the 1st floor again. But, well, no, you actually do the exact same steps, and then it'll try to go up again, but you have to like press a random button to cancel it. And then you'll like go to the first, but it gives you a warning. If anything seems off, even the smallest detail, do not exit the elevator. Instead, repeat the steps until you can cancel it again to go home. And like don't escape until you're absolutely certain you're back in your own world. And so that is the elevator game. It is this weird, very specific and kind of ominous game that you can play alone, that you have to be isolated to do, that supposedly is going to take you to this other world that is only really knowable by the fact that you're alone in it.
Yeah.
And like, I like it because you never know the consequences. Like, it just says, don't speak to this girl. What happens if you do? She's not what she seems. What is she? It's incredibly specific in the instructions, but vague enough in the consequences to be spooky.
Yes. Yep. That gives me vibes of SCP.
Yeah.
I love SCP. Do you know what SCP is, Caleb?
I don't think
SCP is Secure, Contain, Protect. It's this website. It's basically like a crowdsourced wiki. Yeah. Crowdsourced wiki, but all of the articles are like in the same writing type. So they're all like scientific articles found by this organization known as the SCP organization, that is like, they're all about taking these supernatural, paranormal items and containing them, securing them, containing them, protecting civilization from the item.
Yeah, and so like each SCP, like there's one, and there's like a podcast where they'll just read the SCP articles out to you, which is really neat. But like there's an SCP that's just a building full of pipes, but the pipes grow and they're made of random things, and if you damage any of the pipes, like they attack you. Like just weird stuff of like, this is impossible, but we found it and now we're trying to understand it. Yeah, so it's very similar to like SCPs.
Yeah, there's like a machine that makes things better, and of course with SCP there's also like joke SCPs that have like, it's like all of the SCPs are a number, so it's like SCP 101. One of my favorite joke ones uses a real one, which is the one that you put an item and you can enhance it. It just makes it better, whatever that means. There's a joke one that's 420-J, and they used that real SCP. They put marijuana in it to make the best weed known to man. And the entire article is like marked out, and it's like, that's the best that I've ever smoked, man. That joint was like, it's just.
Is it? I think I've seen something inspired by the SCP of making something better. Are either of you guys familiar with the paperclip game?
No.
Okay, so the paperclip game was it was a video game by an indie studio where the whole entire point is you are a robot designed with one function: make the best paperclip.
Oh, I've heard of this game.
Whoa.
I have heard of this.
And it eventually like expands into what it makes you ask the question, how do you define what is the best in what you're doing? So in this case, a paperclip, is it the best materials? Are those materials found on Earth? Do we need to explore to find those materials? How many people do we need to kill to get those materials? How are we doing? Like, it's all of that. It is a fascinating game of like exploring how much do we do? Like, how do we define the best and how do we get to the best?
Yeah.
Wow, I like that. So like,
yeah.
No, so I didn't mean to be like that. That was a legitimate. That's fantastic.
No,
I love the stuff being explored there. But like, I'm on the SCP website right now, and the featured SCP is 7595 telepathic frogs.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website too.
Or there's a reviewer spotlight of 6932 Sensei. The SCP claims to possess knowledge of over 100 different martial arts, and so sometimes they're like really benign and simple, and other times they're like very odd and eldritch, and like, so they run the whole spectrum of very simple and weird to like terrifying and unexplainable. And sometimes they will have like logs that are written in a first person perspective of like, I, the researcher, experienced this with this SCP. So it's like a mix of creepypasta and like Warehouse 13.
Yeah.
I
Like
love
there
that.
could easily be, there might already be an SCP about the elevator game. Of
There
like
there possibly
created
could,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. Because there's like one of my favorite versions of the SCPs are the SCPs that are like realms within themselves.
A place.
Yeah. Like one of the cutest ones that also is sad is there's this box that this little like cardboard shoebox, I think it was, that says "Here be dragons." And
Aw.
if you open it, these little origami dragons fly around, and like the way they talk, it's like this is an actual realm if you go into the box, and it's huge, and it was like this little girl's imagination, or like the imagination of something, but then they like don't have that connection because SCP took them, and the deeper you go into that SCP, by the end, all of the dragons are dead. The last opening of the box, nothing came out, and it's so sad.
There is one SCP that's really cool, is SCP-23, if it's
Okay.
right. But also like they have different classes, like Euclid,
Yeah.
which means it's like a distinct thing.
Keter
But-
is like you're gonna die. Don't
Yeah,
approach.
like they're ranked on like lethality and dangers and stuff too, but there's one that's like this like sun dog thing, and it's like the SCP is shaped like a dog and has to be kept in very specific walled off intersection of two corridors at a specific site. And it had bright orange red eyes, and if it made eye contact with you, either that you or a family member dies. And so they tried to minimize it by removing its eyes and made it more dangerous.
Oh no.
So it's just really cool. But my idea, and we're a little short on time, so we don't have to go through it. It's just fun to talk about SCPs. I was wondering, it could be fun for us to make our own. Not necessarily SCP or creepypasta, but like
Elevator game.
Like our own odd, because for me, the biggest key points of the elevator game that make it effective as like weird meta horror that like you can almost environmental, like you can participate in this kind of like a Bloody Mary thing. Is it simple? But it's like, it is simple in that you don't need a lot. But it's vague and it's specific.
Yeah.
And it makes a mundane thing creepy.
So here's what I'll pitch as an idea.
Please.
Next week, we all go over the next week, read some SCP, read some creepypastas, read some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Next week, come back, we all bring one of our favorite ones, and then at the end of the episode, make our own.
Yeah, we can do shorter bits for each of
I like
ours.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially if we're each bringing just our favorite and having conversations about it. Plus, we can like post the links to the different things too for the listeners to like be like, hey, for full context, read these before we get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
guess we
think
know
that
what
could
we're
be
doing
fun.
next week.
Sweet.
Then.
I think we should specifically, though, make an elevator game type deal. SCPs and
Yeah.
creepypastas are fun, but like I really like the concept of us turning some random mundane thing creepy.
I was thinking we could do that real quick. I mean, like we could do it. I feel like you could do that, and we could do it in a locker room, a very public place.
Ooh.
Maybe like you have to turn all the showers on. You know, like I feel like we could do it. Yeah.
Okay, I do. What I like about this one with the elevator game is part of the creepiness is that you're alone.
Yes.
And part of I think elevated creepiness is most 10-story buildings are going to have people in them most of the time.
Yeah.
Which means like you have to find a time to be in a public space completely alone.
That's why I think locker is good.
Yeah.
Locker room is good because you're rarely in that alone.
Yeah. I think even if we made it like a specific location for a locker room, like a locker room at a YMCA or at like a gym
At a
like
high school or
at a high school. Yeah, something like that's what it is. It's at a high
Yeah,
school.
high schools are scary, especially like
Already,
after
yeah.
hours. Because if you want to be there alone, you really gotta go when it's closed.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think a big part of the game too is that stepping off point. It's the same with Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is like a precursor to the elevator game, but way simpler. Like you go in a bathroom and it's dark and you light a candle, and that one plays more with the visual effects of near darkness
Yeah.
on the eyes. Like your mind will literally hallucinate just because you're in the dark room with only a candle looking at yourself.
Yeah.
And this one, though, like the jumping off point for that is actually just saying the Bloody Marys. For this, the jumping off point is, are you going to get out of that elevator?
Yes.
Like, there is a point where if it works, you go to the 10th floor. Do you step out?
yeah.
Like, you have to make a choice here. So I want to, what if the choice is like, we're in a school, right? I think it could be cool if the choice is like, well, I don't know. Part of me is like, get to the roof and like step off because reality's different. But I also don't like it like having like suicide-y
I
implications.
think
Well,
you could easily do
yeah.
something with the steam of the showers
Okay.
to hide whatever. Like maybe you have to step out of the steam, or you just start the steam to create the environment, and you have to step into a
Mm.
locker, or like
well, that's what I was about to suggest is like we make it to where it's like that like one of the lockers will pop open because
I was
like
thinking,
yeah.
steam also like steam and hot air will make locks pop sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So-
you got to turn all the showers on the hottest level they will go,
Yes.
and then sit on a bench in the locker room until a locker opens.
I think because part of the elevator game is that the directions are confusing.
Yeah, they're very
It's go
easy to
4,
get
go
wrong.
to 2, go to 6, go to 2, go to 8, go to 2. It's very easy to get wrong. There has to be an element of that where it's like, find this locker, like find the fourth locker, the fourth locker
Knock
on the bottom
twice.
row,
Open
knock twice.
Open every third locker in the locker room.
Well,
And
the
then
problem
when
with
they
that
close
is
them all, it'll
Yeah.
leave one open, and that's the
the problem with that though is like it's a locker room. Like locks don't just open. Like you need the combination.
yeah.
So maybe it could need to be a locker that you have the combination to. So that's the stepping off point is you fill the room with steam. You follow like knock twice on the fourth on the bottom in the first row. Not like if you
Yeah.
follow them all and then open your own locker, what's in that locker?
What's in that locker is a question that I had. If the answer is at the bottom, there's a rock. And if you take that rock, it will make you money.
I honest to God thought you were gonna say, and at the bottom of that locker was the
Is
song
Reverend
"Psychobilly Freak
Horton.
Out"
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Reverend
I
Horton.
really thought you were just going to be like, you open the locker and find Reverend Horton Heat's Psychobilly Freakout. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really thought
Yeah.
you were just going to end it.
No, because see, what I was gonna do instead was you open the locker, at the bottom there's a small rock. The rock makes you money enough that you have a time machine because you invented a time machine and you funded the research and you went back in time. You go back in time
Back
to
in time.
Okay, but really, though, while Caleb's setting up this magical bit that'll end the show, I think a better part of it is like you got to knock on the right lockers and then sit and wait. Because what happens with showers and steam and metal and schools? Creaks. You hear sounds. So part of it is do the
Ooh.
specific instructions, wait, and do not react to any sound you hear.
You can hear children laughing. You can hear
Yeah, like-
people
like-
in the school.
If you hear people, do not go outside, do not engage, do not look in the steam from the showers, that kind of thing.
If an old man creeps out of the steam, do not speak to him. He will return soon.
Yeah, like, don't join him in the steam.
Don't steam him like a lobster.
If a lobster exits the steam, he's just getting cooked. Don't worry about him.
He's just cooking
You
it
have
up.
a time machine.
Okay, time machine.
You go back in time
Yep.
to 1989
Yep.
to write the song that will come out on your new band's debut album, Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em.
There we go.
You are Jim Heath writing the song Psycho Billy Freak Out by Reverend Horton Heat. And you are the reason we have that song as our opening and closing music. And we thank you so much for that wonderful.
Thank you. Great
wonderful
song. Great bit. You can also, if you wanna, we have a Twitter, and that's Junk House, but the O in House is a 0. Cordell, before you tell us about that email, do you want to read this second email from Fielding?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Okay, so this says, Junk House. Did you know? Although milkshakes and malted milk had been around for some time before, Walgreens has claimed credit for the popularization of the malted milkshake, or at least its version of the malted milkshake, invented by Ivar Pop Colson in 1922. Did you also know, in January 2019, Walgreens paid $269.2 million for 2 separate counts of defrauding the federal and 39 state governments in overbilling schemes. Thank you for subscribing to Did You Know? Reply stop to stop receiving Did You Know messages. I will never reply stop to that.
I will never reply stop. Also, thank you, Fielding, for that wonderful fact. And that's why I don't use Walgreens anymore. So
Walgreens is just overly expensive anyway.
Yeah.
Truly,
but
though.
Part of it, to get minorly, like, I have opinions here. I hate that, like, big company does horrible things and just spends a lot of money that it still has a lot more of and then continues to carry on. I hate that happens. I hate that laws aren't laws for the rich.
Yeah.
It happens that's why I like that Chicago ended cash bail for a lot of crimes. Is that way it's like, hey, you can't just do this and then pay to get away with it.
Yeah.
You have to go to court.
No. And if you want to email us, you can do so at junkhousemailbox@gmail.com. Send us fun Did You Know facts. Send us
or
Did
tell
You
us about
Not
your dad.
Know? Yeah, tell us about your dad.
Or your mom.
Tell us about
Grandma.
Tell us about a parental figure that maybe isn't even related to you.
Yeah, tell us false truths. Tell us the things we want to hear but are entirely fabricated.
Give us some rock facts.
It's a rock fact.
Rock fact.
And as we say every week.
Help, I did the elevator game in our junk house elevator. Remember that we had 10 floors? And now I'm stuck and I'm in the walls.
Whoa, the wall dimension.
Yeah,
That
I
seems
talked
like
to the
fun.
girl and she said, I'm putting you in a wall.
I put Sammy, Cordell doesn't know that I pranked him. I put him inside a wall in his sleep.
Oh, were you wearing a wig again?
Yeah, I was wearing another wig. It was a blue wig. Hey,
Help.
what color was the girl's hair?
It was blue.
Fuck yeah, I
Hell
fucking got him.
Wait. She was kind of hot though. Like really my type.
Yeah, I am.
Her rack was incredible.
Okay.
It's a psychobilly freak out!